Talking crazy, saying I should quit. Tell make me eat a fucking dick. Feeling like the greatest ever did it. Made it shady on the list. So you sold 10 million albums, eh? Then the latter day Saints. The other thing is, there's another thing. What's up, fellas? I didn't say she stole the cookies. You should be able to say that like 20 different ways. I didn't say she stole the cookies, depending on what word you emphasize. You don't want to be rigid to that game plan, boys. So I'm going to assume there's going to be a lot of fucking people who have questions when they hear all this fucking knowledge I'm fucking kicking. This girl interrupt during this smut show. Yeah. Tell lots of stories. Practice makes anything better. Watch good stories. Become a student of stories, boys. Also, work on some shit. Alright? Work on your fucking delivery, boys. Take the phrase, I didn't say she stole the cookies. You should be able to say that 20 different fucking ways. Work on your delivery. Different delivery is going to do better with different women. Okay? I didn't say she say the cookies. Every little difference. I didn't say she say. Everything makes a little deliverance. You get much more leverage and much more delivery. Even a bad story delivered well can become a good story. You know? One thing you'll notice with groups is even average guys that start to try to fucking blow you out now by saying you're a pickup artist and you did a name. The idea of group theory is basically there's some tenets. First one, you have to engage everyone to a certain extent. And that can be done in a positive and negative way. But there's different ways. So say you see a different group of people. There's really two ways to engage a group. One is to engage the whole group at once. The other is to engage one or two people in the group and then use them immediately as a catalyst to engage the rest of the group. Either one is a valid form of group theory. So one answer to what the question of the guy in the group always blows me up. Don't engage him, or you can get him very quickly. You have 5 girls there, 2 guys, a girl over there. If the girl's in the group you want, you can open the 2, throw in a little teasing engagement, and then as soon as you have that engagement, and as soon as you're in the door a little bit, you may, oh wait, you're trouble, but how do you guys know each other? And then you get all the introductions and such. And that way the dude isn't privy to the approach itself. It looks more accidental to him. And he's not involved at the moment where you have leverage and you don't. Here's the thing with a group of guys. With a group of guys, they were there first. And you just came up and did a cold approach. So if they have a problem with you, even if they're in the wrong, they're in the right, as far as the group goes, because they have a history. And so with this situation like that, when you think there might be a strong objection, you almost want to open accidentally. I have a couple openers I call accidental openers. Sometimes I'll back into the group by accident. Hey, oh, sorry about that. Oh, you guys seem cool. It's nice to meet you as long as I'm here. Just think about that. If you walk up to a group with a guy in it, and the guy has an objection to you, the girls don't know you yet, and just to appease their friend, unless they are just overwhelmed with attraction for you, they're probably going to take his side, and it would look kind of needy and uncool of them. It's a bad strategy for him long term, because if he's the hater, eventually they'll dislike him. But if it seems accidental, or at least like there's not an agenda there, and he objects, now he's fucking weird. And now he's the asshole hater. You want to create a situation where if he is objection, he's the asshole hater. Opinion of it can work somewhat for that correction, but some things are even more accidental and that can work as well. All right, with it's clearly kind of a guy and a girl together. He's going to be antagonistic, trying to make it accidental. He's opposed to making it more direct. That's the thing that'll work there. The other thing that I'll do is I'll choose which part of the group to open and not open the guy first. And then once I'm getting introduced to the guy, can still be like in the first 10 seconds, but at that point, I at least have a little bit of leverage with the girls when I'm being introduced by them, so that he can't really object. Hey, meet Todd. And then the guy can't be, what an asshole, starting to open a set in our group. First off, you're being introduced by a friend, and second of all, there's no cause for you to say that. So that's something I would do in that case. Watching your immediate logistics is useful, and watching your timing is very useful. And the other, really, this is a very old school tactic type of thing. Important question is, how do you guys all know each other? You have to ask that to someone who likes you. How do you guys know each other? And the group's like, I fucked all these hoes. But if you ask the girl, yeah, no, we're just friends from school. This guy's obnoxious, whatever. And then you're okay. You can ask the group, how do you guys know each other? So there's a lot of finessing that you can do to stop getting that reaction. If you do get that overtly negative reaction, what you should do probably is be fairly innocent and kind of just the fun, happy guy. Be the fun, happy guy or whatever. Yeah. We have this guy who likes to give everybody shit, and you're charming. We have this guy who likes to give everybody shit, and you have you're charming. What's your name? Just be conversation and fun, more chatty, conversational, and assertive. And there's no mystery line for opening the group where he says the frame that you want is not sexual, it's chatty. The frame you want is chatty. You want to get sexual eventually, but the initial frame you want is chatty. You want a little chatterbox. You want to be a chatterbox. You're going to have to be a little bit of a chatterbox. If you haven't gotten good at it, you haven't made the transition. Sometimes you're going to pull the hottest girl, got dates with the hottest girl, but she thought she was gay. Acting a little gay in the first 30 seconds is a great way to go. It's incredibly fun. It's incredibly non-threatening. It's incredibly fucking happy. You can always show that intent later. Plus, it's drama, and it shows you're exciting. She doesn't know what the fuck's going on. But you don't want to hold it. If the guy goes, that was a neg, if he tries to call you out, go over the top with fun and energy than to respond to the haters' comment with negativity. One of the best AMOGs I've ever seen in a long time. Was at this club in Los Angeles, and this girl I know, it was a guy who knows a friend of a friend and a friend who does pick up. And basically, there's a guy who came up and was trying to name drop and act like he was someone important and get in the guy's set. And then the guy goes, "Security, Mr. Amundsen's being an asshole again right over here. We got a tough guy."
Turn right onto California Street, then turn right onto Mason Street.
We got a tough guy. In that case, you definitely outfit the guy, but it's fun. It's fun, it's funny, it's amusing, and everybody around it sees it and likes it. And that's who you want to be. You want to be kind of the bully who you can't dislike. You be the bully who you can't dislike. You're not even bullying, you're just kind of coming over the top with more fun and more positivity. So the fact that if anybody hates you, they truly do fucking hate you, and they're a hater.
Turn right onto Mason Street, then turn right onto Pine Street.
You got a problem with me fucking these hoes to sleep, son?
Take the next right onto Pine Street, then your destination will be on the left. A lot of the guys who doesn't approach and open the set is going to move in because he didn't have the neediness of opening it. He's just going to move in. California Street.
It's cool, it's fun. I like sometimes, but you got to be careful about making things more complicated than they have to be, and you're getting away from the things where they have to go. A plot line I'll use with a girl who's very cute but not like stunning hot, and she seems to have some level of attraction and some level of banter, but I wouldn't do this with a girl who is cold, but a girl that just seems attractive but isn't necessarily cute but isn't out of your alley. Kind of what I would do is this whole like frame of, will you please stop being so cute, I'm trying not to like you. Oh my God, look, I'm holding your hand, look, we have to stop. You overtly escalate and overtly show that you're very attracted, and even take this role of, I'm in this incorrigible sex addict. He can't help himself, but I'm trying really hard. So the tension comes from the fact that I'm trying to resist, but then there's that clear intent, so it's not completely direct. Contrast it to a guy who's, hey, you're really cute, I want to meet you. Tell me about that, I want to meet you. It's much less fun, much less interesting, and there's no tension.
call that sweetie game, a 6 addict game, and that's a plot line that I would use when it's going well and I want to sexualize it and really ramp things up with a girl that seems to like me, or a girl that's I'm pretty confident will like me. With a girl that's a bit harder to get, I'll do more of that romantic comedy. Another fun part, let us go up to a girl for moment one and act like she's your ex-girlfriend. I'll be right back. You do 100 fucking push-ups in 3 sets and 45-second leg lifts. Don't be a little bitch. do your fucking push-ups? Good. I see. Okay, good with the leg lifts. Let's talk about a structured backup plan. For instance, you have a time. If I'm doing well, I never want to use that line. However, if I absolutely can't get a girl to qualify any other way, guess what's coming out? That line's coming out. Even if you're going to go completely uncanned and unstructured, have that backup plan. That you have a couple things for everyone. kick it. Let me know what time is good. I just happened to be right by you when I got your text. I'll kick it here for a while. So, don't try to be outcome free. You need to worry about the outcome, boys. And be very intentful for your outcome. My outcome each night is to get laid. You know what I mean? What about self-amusement versus having structure? So, if you have structure, then you got self-amusement, you know. Hey, how's it going? Who here thinks that self-amusement is attractive? I'm gonna help the weirdo people. So I just got a text from K Girl. I had fucking taken it in our texting on Kick. I had taken it from I'm daddy, I'm here to fuck you, to start talking about my career shit. And then I even fucking, then I tried to, and I said, I hope you're practicing. She comes back with practicing for what? Then I link her to that Drake song, Practice. I don't know about that. That's a sexy song. But then I feel I don't get a response from her, so I feel the need to fucking tell her about my fucking career like I'm her fucking boyfriend. And then I just took it back to something simple, and I had a terrible text at 2:22 a.m. Really needy text. No time for daddy tonight. Because I had hit her up earlier, and she was like, sorry, Poppy, I'm not. I said, daddy's close. She goes, sorry, Poppy, I'm not home. I hit her with, so, but then tonight at 6 o'clock, do you want to come fuck me? Let's just keep it in that fuck zone, shall we? I don't want to hear about your career shit. You don't want to hear about my career shit. I don't want to meet your mama. You know? Let's talk about finding your own style. We talked about speed seduction, attractive characteristics, a natural style game, and unstructured. Imitate before you innovate. Learn what works. Don't just try things that randomly. Try things from people that work. If you've seen some of my infield, you think what I'm doing, be likely to try something that you've seen me do. That does not mean just because I did something you should do it, especially without understanding the context. There's one that I remember it was put out a long time ago, where I was running up to this girl and she was being very, very hard to open. I said, man, I've never burned this many calories to talk to a girl before. And in that context, that worked really good. And that was the dude's default opener. He said, I got that from you. I'm like, no, you didn't. That's not how I do it. Imitate stuff you see that works, but don't be blind. The end judge of any technique is you. Does that make sense? You're the decider of whether that technique fucking works. If it worked for every other single fucking judge in the world, but it didn't work for you, then don't fucking do it. Imitate, but imitate with intelligence. You know what I mean? Try it, see if it works for you, see if it's congruent, because different people have different styles of game. And what's going to happen once you've imitated enough things is you'll come up with your own things that are similar structure. Imitate before you innovate. Every single guy who I know is good in pickup. They have different outcomes in mind for pickup. And their structure and their strategy. See, she texted me, do you want to come fuck me? Now she's not. And I got back to her like probably 28 minutes later. So she probably texted somebody else. She's probably fucking that dude. They're all sluts. Don't get butthurt. Other guys want only the hottest girls, and they're willing to stay in the set for very long times, try really, really fucking hard to get that fucking 10. They're willing to do a lot of fucking homework before the set gets social proof on their side, and that works for them. They don't get quite as much volume, and that's their style, and that works for them. I have one guy who's really good in pickup who actually probably cares more about how much he can get away with than he cares about actually getting laid. So he has a style that's about getting away with a lot of shit. The point is, whatever your style is should help you get your goal. Send Daddy your number. One thing, what is your fucking goal? What did you get in game 4? A lot of times my game is just to get laid tonight. Do you want lots of girls, or do you just want to have sex every now and then with girls you think are a little more special? Do you want to have multiple relationships, or do you want to have serial monogamous relationships? Do you have a particular ethnicity or body type that you like better? Do you want your girls educated, or do you not give a damn? You gotta ask yourself all this fucking shit, and they matter, because it's gonna determine a lot in your game. So the first step in your style is what type of girl do you want. Next step in what your style is, what type of interaction do you want? Do you like really supercharged, super flirty sexual interactions? Some guys do. Some guys get nervous about it and they don't like it. Do you like really wordy talk interactions? Not fucking me, bro. Some guys really like that. If you are really sexually charged in your interactions, should you go more direct or more indirect? Probably a little more direct. If you want really sexually charged interactions, if you want conversational interactions, you should go more indirect. That's why I like to stay on mode fucking 1, direct. Sometimes you should switch up modes though. Are you best at conversations? Or are you best at that flirty stuff? So all of this is going to play out. So, however, whatever style you choose, there are going to be certain elements that I think are always going to be the case. Number one, you're going to have to continuously implement trial and error. You're going to have to continuously be taking what you're doing, tweak things, try things, learn. Whatever style you adopt, you have to be able to do that. You have to be able to learn and grow. All right? Whatever style you adopt, you're going to have to hit those 3 trigger points that I talked about. You're going to have access, attraction, and follow through. Access, attraction, and follow through. So make sure whatever style you have takes care of all those. If you're talking about a style where you're meeting strangers as opposed to like a social circle style, you're probably going to have to lead with some level of attraction and follow it with some level of comfort. Attraction and some level of comfort. Now, whatever style you adopt, there has to be some congruence about your closing. Whatever style you adopt, there probably has to be a plot line. There has to be some sort of plot line or a narrative. Now, these elements are always going to be the case. Whatever plot style you adopt, it's going to help you if you have a few canned things you can go back to. But whatever style you adopt is going to help you if you're not so structured you can't pay attention anyway. So these elements are always going to be the case, but your particular style is going to be different. And it all starts with what do you want and who you are, and understanding all these styles and how to implement them. So now that said, I wouldn't say that all of you can just go snap your fingers and go have a perfect game style, but I hope you have learned a lot about what the different styles are, learned a lot about what the elements that make games successful are, and hopefully now you all have all the tools now as you go take action to go learn and implement a style that will work for you. Never stop learning. If I could tell my 20-year-old self something, I'd say never stop learning. There's definitely periods where you're going to get fucking discouraged. When there's established style of game that everybody's doing, it's easy to think everything's been discovered. It hasn't. Fuck no, everything hasn't been discovered in game. Not everything, not even close. So another thing that I would tell myself is, at 20 I already knew I didn't know shit, but I would tell myself, no matter how much you eventually know shit, you still don't know shit. Never quit learning. No matter how much you think you know shit, you still don't know shit. And never forget how fun this is. Never forget how fun this is. For me, having done game as a fun profession, there's definitely times it can feel like work. You're dealing with a frustrating student, or when you have to leave a hot girl to go teach, and the hot girl wants to go home with you, and you have to go teach. Your genetics are like screaming at you. Your genes are like, what the fuck are you doing to me? And I have to leave hot girls to go teach all the time. But it's keep it in perspective that game is fun and game is beautiful. There are times over my gaming career that I've fallen in and out of love with game. And even when your results aren't as good, I can tell you that being in love with game and having fun is better than being out of love and getting better results. Being in love with game is better than being out of love with game and getting better results. Just remember that. You guys are beautiful. I'm so glad I fucking kicked all this mad fucking knowledge to you right here. Shot to Todd V, shot to AMS, shot to Corey Wayne, shot to fucking RSD. And let's talk about why women have sex. The 3 sex triggers that make her want to have sex. Let's talk about that for a minute. Well, I do some of this Tinder shit. I don't do the unlimited Tinder. I'm going to tell you about the 3 main most common sex triggers. The reasons why women will have sex with men. You see, in game, the longer you're in it, you're going to realize every situation is different and nuanced. But ironically, the other thing you're going to realize is that a lot of situations are the same, and the same patterns repeat over and over again. So if you can know in advance, what are the main reasons a girl is going to sleep with you? You can set up and structure your game in such a way to make those things happen. All right, so what I want to do right now is to make the 3 main sex triggers. Actual field reports of time when I've experienced very clear examples of each of those traits. So the first sex trigger is validation. And the simplest way to express validation is the girl feels like sleeping with you is a win for her. If she feels like her social or sexual value is elevated by having sex with you. And this is a stark contrast to the way most guys game. Most guys, when they're gaming, they're begging for sex from the girl, and they're treating the girl as though she's on a pedestal and hoping to maybe get in her pants or hoping to maybe get lucky. And that doesn't feel like a win. And that's not going to work very well. There are circumstances where the girl will feel like a win. This can happen from just good game in general, but often it's nice if it's aided by external factors, things like social proof. Some sort of status indicators. Things with you in your game, like pushing the girl away very strongly, can also do this. Let me tell you a few examples where I had girls looking at me very clearly for validation-related reasons. I was teaching a long-term program, and I had students by all 4 nights of the program. He had a girl back to his place, just fooling around, and they almost had sex with her, and then it didn't really happen. And then, kind of out of amusement, he decided to tell the girl all about the program he was on. And then he brought the girl out to the debrief, where she actually met me. So she saw me as the head of this program with this guy who gets lots of girls, and she saw all these guys reacting to me, including this guy who she thought was really hot and she slept with. Flash forward to the next night, one of my other students met up with her and her friends, and I was with him. I ended up sort of winging her, just talking to her as much as anything else. She was a hot girl. I didn't want to step on her toes. So I was occupying her. I messaged my other student. It turns out my other student was already in bed with a different girl that night, so it was kind of a moot point. You get yourself into a situation where there's no longer any downside to having sex, so she's okay with having sex. So assuming there ain't any strong negative consequences, the natural thing to happen, but there's all the societal stuff that gets in the way and the logistics get in the way. If those are solved, oftentimes good things can happen. So I'm going to tell you 2 stories that are kind of like last dick standing stories. If we're stuck in the same vicinity for like 5 minutes straight and through the guys start playing very romantic. Talk about how to make her chase you. What up, y'all? 6 things to say to a girl to make her like you. Whatever. The first word that's irresistible to say to a girl is no. Say no to that bitch. It's important because women love a man with personal boundaries. In fact, they will test you. Do you have personal boundaries? Or would you do anything to be with a girl like me? And basically, if you say no, I'm not saying say no all the fucking time, but I'm saying say no when it's generally something that you don't want to do. And if you could say that, the girl's like, wait a minute, he does not do everything in his power in order to get with me. And that means he probably has something like abundance. He probably has something like choices. So, you know, basic example is you be out there partying with your friend, you just met a girl at the bar in a club, and you're killing it, you're having a good time, and she says, come outside. Every beta male with no option would be, okay, I'm here, where are you? I'm here. Well, she probably sees you and she's fucking laughing at you for being such a fucking simp, you know? And if you're just like, haha, no. It doesn't need to be an actual no. It could be like, haha, maybe later. It could be like, how dare he? I'm a hot girl. I must show him that he must chase me. And so now she starts investing. So tell that bitch no. It shows a lot of authenticity because every guy's talking to her is trying to be the most agreeable, the most pleasing, and everything she says is awesome. And when you're like, no, bitch, I fuck a bitch, I forget her name. It shows like I can trust this person because if you're saying yes all the time, it's extremely fucking fake. It's like no. And also one thing I'd add here is do it with a bit of a smile. Don't be a dick, you know. Do you want to hang out? Play it smart. Say it with a little bit of humor. You don't got to tee off on the poor girls. Never mind. That's the second one. You ask the girl a questions. You say, hey, are you from Los Angeles? Hey, you from Los Angeles? Never mind. Look away. You ask her a question. Hey, you from Los Angeles? Ah, never mind. Look away. Hey, you from Los Angeles? Ah, never mind. It creates this vacuum effect that fucking reels her in. Can I tell you something? Ah, never mind. You know, it's really important. Ah, never mind. You gotta immediately change the topic. So you can't, you know, it's funny. Are you from, never mind, never wait, then change the topic. Be like, did you see that new Bugatti that came out? That thing's beautiful. There was something. You look at TV shows like Game of Thrones, Lost. That's basically all they do at the end of every episode. It's like, something's gonna happen. Never mind. Oh, 40 minutes is over. And you'll be like, ah. And sometimes there'll be questions that are just out of the blue, and you just ask the girl, by the way, oh, are your parents divorced? Oh, never mind. Never mind. Yeah. And you can keep stacking. Stack those open loops up so hard until they're craving for that validation. And then you can say, over, let's go to the bar and let's get some fresh air. Yeah. And then you just create more and more references when she's hanging out with you. And it's far easier. It's far easier for you to go to a poll in that situation, which brings me to the next point. Only if, similar to what we said earlier about this personal boundaries frame, I'd like to connect this earlier with something like, let's say I meet a personal boundaries frame. Let's say I met a girl that's going well, and I say, oh, let's go for pizza. Oh, let's go base station. It's a 5-minute cab ride from here. That requires a little bit more compliance from her than just say, hop in the cab. Only if you promise not to creep out the cab driver. Only if you promise my goldfish. That, especially in the connection with asking for compliance, is basically saying, hey, listen, I have, again, personal boundaries, but if you cannot adhere to those rules, it's not going to happen, which means I have standards, which means I am of high value. At the same time, it kind of hits their ego a little bit. And girls have a huge ego. It's just differently comprised than a guy's ego. Guys we're the best with girls. We're the coolest. We want to be the strongest at the gym. We want to have the most money, whatever it is. Surface level ego. I am the most desirable woman. I am the hottest. So if you say shit like, but only if, you promise to keep her off me. How dare he give me this rule? Well, he should be begging with me to come with him. Am I not hot enough? Am I not cool enough? Did I see something wrong? You know what? I'm going to show him that I'm amazing. I'm going to be the coolest, most desirable woman ever. And now I can pull her. You know, it basically makes it become her idea to come with you. It makes it become her idea to do whatever it is that you connected to the only if. And yeah, it's just a very powerful thing. And she's focused on that only if more so than what you're doing. It could be like, hey, come meet my friends, but it could be only if you don't embarrass me. Only if you don't embarrass me. Only if da da da. The fourth one is covert questions. Building on this third one, where girls have a certain ego. Every really, really hot girl takes pride in being somewhat bitchy. Not in a mean way, but the bitchy girl, I give people shit. I can see that. They take pride in the fact that they stand out from the masses, that they're special, that they know it's in a club or bar, that there's people there, they have access to many free drinks, they have access to really cool clothes, really cool people, they know that. A bouncer. So when you ask a question in a very innocent way, a friendly way, that assumes that she doesn't have that, it's like this covert little push, this backhand push, and a friendly question. For example, if it's a girl, a model, you go, oh, do you work 9 to 5? It's like assuming that she does not. Of course not. According to her, and she's a model. I work my own hours. Oh, is that H&M? Oh, is that Gap? Oh, I think I saw that at Gap, right? Just like totally not friendly, not being mean. Just be like, oh, is that Gap? Oh, is that Gap? It's like covert and backhanded. Some other ones you can do when you're talking to girls is you can get into a conversation where you go, oh, what is that drink? When you think perhaps getting a drink when you think, oh, how much was that drink? When you know she got it for free. Oh, F man, that line was crazy. I'm guessing you had a way too. Anything that assumes that. Oh, is it your first time here? Oh, you're so nice. You know what I love about you is that you're so nice. You're too nice. You're too nice. That's what I tell these girls all the time. You're too nice. You're too nice. You should be so nice. And they'll be like, I'm not nice. I'm not nice. That's the kind of stuff they'll say. A lot of times girls will say that shit. They'll be like, oh, I'm not that nice. Shut up. You are that nice. If you're communicating on a level that is so high that women, you know, like, oh, be like, oh, you work 9 to 5? Oh, is that H&M? You know, whatever she's wearing. Oh, is that Gap? I think I saw that at Gap, right? But like totally friendly, like not being mean, but just be like, oh, is that Gap? Is that Gap? Oh, is that Gap? Just like covert and backhand, but whatever, you know. Oh, how much was that drink? When maybe you know she didn't pay for it or something. How much was that drink when you know she got it for free, or you're supposed to assume she got it for free? Oh man, if she has the expensive bag, you'd be like, oh, is that H&M? I used to say shit like, fun, a few weeks ago. A sleeve of David Yurman bracelets. And you knew she took so much pride. And you love them. You go, where did you get them? You go, oh, is that H&M? She go, no, it's from my field friend. This is go, oh, this is David Yurman. Because you're not being a dick about it. You just innocently ask it. It's like this little thing. Everything's like playfully provocative. You know what I mean? Everything's like, you know where we got this from? You know where we got this from? We got this from girls. We men try to be way more obvious than this. You know, and we think we neg the girl, but she's just gonna call you out like you're trying to neg me. You know, you probably have no self-esteem. This shit is so subtle because she has to invert over like 2, 3, 4, 5 corners that she's just like she can't call you front out. She feels the diss, but she can't really pinpoint it in the very moment, and that's something that women are mastering. There's nobody you can learn this shit from better. I mean, I like you. I think you're an interesting person. But, I mean, I like you. I mean, I like you. I think you're an interesting person. I mean, I like you, and I think you're an interesting person and all. But, I mean, I like you. I think you're an interesting person and all, but like outside of this context, no, I don't really have any reason to talk to you. That's so cool. You're actually really smart. You're actually really smart. Oh, that's so cool. You're actually really smart. Like, I didn't expect you. I'm surprised that you're smart. So all that she hears is like, what do you mean actually? Don't I look smart? No, you're actually really smart. You're actually not that bad, bitch. Who would have thought? It's the game on such a high level that the diss is so covert that she's like, what do you mean? What do you mean? And now the chances are very high that she's going to inquire further, and now you got that open loop again, and now you change the topic, you know? It was actually pretty good. And that brings us to the last 6 point here, and that is self-deprecation. And that is where you make fun of yourself, and what that communicates to the girl is that you are so high value, that you are so much the shit that you couldn't be bothered to try and impress her. You'd be like, hey, I have a really good job, Jim. You do the opposite, and it's the first thing I do. What's wrong with 7-Eleven? I get free drinks there like twice a day. It's always been intriguing to be the manager. I started a janitor. I started working at a Slurpee machine. And in her mind, she's like, I'm having a blast. I'm having a blast, first of all. Make sure you're having a blast saying it. It shows her, why is he not trying to seduce and impress me? What the fuck? Who is this guy? Because she's so used to dudes trying to do that. Every guy's trying to be the fucking coolest. And you just stop and you just show you're not try hard. Like I actually had that for recording for a different program. I had a challenge to try to just look like the biggest loser ever, and it would just work even better. I don't really, you know, you tell her, oh, I don't really do anything. No, I just don't do anything. Oh, cool, so you study. When you don't try at all hard, it starts to go in your head a little bit. Why is this guy not trying hard? This is so weird. With this one and with all these points, don't overdo that shit. Sprinkle that shit in the conversation. If you're like, oh, look at me, look how fat I am, don't overdo that shit. Do something that disrupts that fucking pattern. And, whoa, a real genuine interaction between things. So girls get excited about that shit. These are irresistible fucking things to say to a girl or make her want you. If you want to dive deeper, which I hope you want to, I have the Girl Interrupter Smut Shuttle fucking Patreon, Skype, YouTube. Hit me the fuck up, dog. Let's do this. How to do cold approach, how to not have to do cold approach, how to make them fucking chase, how to be a high value male. All right. why I do that every time. I step on Sweets' fucking dog food ditch every fucking time. I want to game more than I have been. I want to do it in a professional way. I was done. I quit college. This hot seat changed my life. I want to quit college. And I was good in school. The family thought this dude was going to be a professor. He started a little YouTube channel. Practice how to speak in front of a camera and how to do pickup and stuff like that. It was funny because he had a job next to the university. He had to provide him with a little apartment. And he was doing this job, and he's like, now I can full-time game, and I can focus on building my little YouTube channel, or something like that. It's not cool, you're fired. So I guess I'm not paying for my apartment anymore? And you gotta move out, like, tomorrow. I quit college, lost my education, no more money. I was about to become homeless. He was like, damn, shit's getting really real. It wasn't the best of times. Total RSD fan. I did internships for RSD. The 4 internships, they were all unpaid, helping out with the forum and shit like that. RSD affiliate, hey, we've seen you doing cool shit with internships already, and he's just very motivated. He's an Austrian dude who just loves us. How about you come to Miami? To do what? Sure, when you want to come. It was like tomorrow. And it was like, give me 2 weeks. And he was like, I had to go back to the Austrian countryside to meet my parents and tell them that I was coming on and would borrow money from my parents. Eventually, I had enough money to get on this airplane in Miami. And here it was, literally within 2 weeks. No more job, no more education, no more house. Getting the opportunity by the best company in the world, sitting on that airplane in the middle seat with $15,000 of debt. And my I was 22 years old. And man, I was batshit scared. And I landed, and I was RSD affiliate picked me up from the airport, and I was excited, and I had my backpack in my hands. And can you tell Tyler that I arrived? Hey Tyler, Max is here. Tyler takes it back. Who's Mac? Things went fucking quickly. Here's the infield camera. You go fill Tyler infield. You know, this best shit ever. I'm here with RSD. I'm here with Julian and Tyler. Oh my god, I just met Jeffrey. And I left a voice message after the first night on my You can crash on floor and not have money, and that shit's not gonna fucking bother you. Not having any fucking comfort's not bothering you, because when you're on fucking fire, you know, when you're on fucking fire with shit, that shit's not gonna bother you. You know? You could be the shy dude in the background.
you know, like in the Clark Stores, it's a two-story club. Uh, One girl and one guy. I could game for 10 minutes, and one chick was Owen's girlfriend back then. She was back with me. And I was like spilling my game, having fun. And it's like, what the hell's going on? And I remember Owen's girlfriend. She was watching all that, and she just laughed her ass off all the time. Oh my God, Matt, you're so funny. Your game is so good. And I was so honored because she knew all the RHC guys. Mac has good game. Max has good game. And then what she did, and she said Zach had good game, and she told Owen how good my game was. Max is such good game. I never knew that. I just knew him with the shy camera guy. I didn't know he had game. I didn't know you had game, bro.
You got game for real. She's seriously gonna let me. She's seriously gonna get me to fuck her on a belly full of the food he just got her at the dinner. He's on. I love fucking you on a belly full of food some beta male provider bought you during a lengthy dinner. You sold 10 million albums? So you sold 10 million albums, eh? And I ain't about hitting that fucking marijuana every 5 fucking minutes. You wanna fuck your game up? Do that, boys. Just be stoned all the fucking time. That's a good way to throw away about 10 years in your 20s or 30s. You know, let's just be stoned and not be game tight. You know what I mean? Marijuana should be like this thing you hardly ever fucking do. And then it's really special and sweet. Feeling like the greatest one, whoever did it. The label, shady on the list. So you sell 10 million albums, eh? You better come with more men than the Latter-day Saints. Yeah, I was hanging out with Owen and Julian Blanc of the RSD in Denver at one point. And we were talking about what it means to be truly fucking abundance. Abundance versus scarcity. And what we're going to be doing here is going very, very deep into that concept and really opening your eyes to what it means to be really, really abundant. Man, that's a cute fucking girl. Sometimes you'll be approaching a midlife crisis and it'll be a fucking cry fest. You just gotta power through, babe. You know what I mean? You just gotta do shit for real. You know, just never forget that.
Yeah. So sometimes guys are just gonna be out spitting game, keeping it fun. Keep it fun and flirty, gentlemen, when you're out there spitting game. The single most important thing that changed people's shifting out of a paradigm that's based on scarcity to one that's based on abundance. It's changing your spirit of you. Hanging out at petty little things. Just go with the flow and the current of life and move into this much lighter, much chiller, more way to be. You can see it in someone. If you're just hanging on to small little fucking things, the way you talk about that shit during that seminar, people would say is like, that's 100% what you gotta stand behind. You gotta keep in that true abundance mindset. You know, like, damn. You just gotta be on that abundance mindset, bro. You could just spend 5 hours just thinking about what true fucking abundance mindset means, bro. You know? That's the kind of thing you got. Oh, I left that fucking light on all that time. Not that long. Not as long as you fucking think you left that light on. Have you guys ever just stopped to consider things like, there was kings and queens for the longest time, but just some random individual could lord over millions of people and give them half their shit and fuck their wives and all this shit? The wife would have to fuck prima nocta. Before you could actually consummate with your wife, the king got to fuck her first. Yeah. Prima nocta, that was normal. The king got to fuck her first before you. That was normal. That's what we're here to teach you today. So yeah, basically stop and consider that people really did allow that. And a lot of it was status oriented. So a great deal of self. Right. What I ask you to do. One more little break in my voice. One more thing. What I want to do here is. I'll flow with you. Q&A. I'll deal with you. So much of our thinking is incredibly fucking petty. And how much of our dialogue is taken up by biological drives? I'm hungry, I'm cold, I'm hot, I'm horny, I'm tired, I don't want to do that, I don't want to get up. Then think about the other aspects of how do I look? Am I getting approval right now? What does this person think of me? What does that person think of me? I want to buy that shirt, I want to look good, I want to get this house, I want to look cool. And think about how much of your inner dialogue is essentially social conditioning, religious thought that's implanted in your head by other people. Hey, Q Dog, come here, sweets, come here. You'll realize that you're not even who you think about as a person. Because if the majority of people, 99% of the people are thinking a bunch of nonsense, and that was put into other people in biological drives, it's just your biology drive, which is just your ego. How much of there is that's actually you? What's really going on there? How much of this is actually a reaction to proactive? So I started thinking about that. Some old weird spiritual text, and I thought most of that was really fucking weird, and I didn't agree with it, and I thought it was absurd. But one of the cool points in it that I read was that it was talking about how if it was talking about, he'd say everybody thinks they want to go to heaven after they die, but what he was saying was if 99% of you
What even is there? If your fucking ego is a stupid little function of your brain, what would actually be going to this internal life if you don't have shit? Incredibly egotistical when you think about it. So then what he said, and it was just a little code of self-help. A lot of societies decided to create a lot of path to least resistance. You really want to consider that. As a businessman, your job is to make money. So maybe you try to come out with really bringing killers to the world. You learn that what the market really responds to is just a bunch of crap because the average person really just wants to take the back least resistance, and you have to give the market what he wants. It's just some crap. Maybe take some of the hidden camera videos that you do. When you actually show that to your friends, they fucking tune it out for the most part. It's almost a little too real, too real. So when you see it, your brain's like, wait a minute. If I did that, I'd have success. Your brain will lock it out. So your brain, for the most part, is not even ready to have success. So a lot of this is just preparing people and getting to a point where they're even ready to just wake up, or they're getting to the point where they're willing to do what they're supposed to do. And we're very, very much trapped in a lot of our petty brains hardwiring. There's only one cookie. We can't both have the cookie. You know what I mean? If we're talking, fight about it for 2-3 years. You know, that's what, if that's what you want to do, there's the cookie. You know what I mean? You have to share. You have to share. It's your fault. Whose fault is it? It's Dylan's fault. Now the cookie's breaking. The cookie's breaking and no one will eat it. Could you give that one to Vincent because you love him? I don't love him anymore. He broke every time I said it. And that's what happens. You could, you know, your brother. Yeah. That's an example. And you see his.
What is the plus side to not let some motherfucker get the bigger half of the cookie in your life? Think of it this way. If you just let everybody have a bigger part of the cookie, what could happen? Why do we have that primitive wiring? To have personal boundaries. Why do we do that? Is that... Hello, Dakota. This is D. Give me a call. 7725 something. All right, bye. So you say to yourself, okay, personal boundaries. If I say to Dylan, yo, I got some bigger half of the cookie, I'm fucked. There's not enough for me. But at the same time, you can fight over the cookie, but what are the downsides? A, when you're screaming and crying in front of everybody, how do you look? You look like a fucking loser. Like a bitch. You know? Like a bitch. Like a pouty bitch. And so what you have there is that anybody who would want to work with you take you seriously before opportunity costs. Now let's go a little bit deeper. From there, what you have there is the time that you spent on it. While your kids sat there crying over a cookie, what else could have they done? Was it the only cookie in the world? Was there more than one cookie in the world? So another thing that you could do rather than fight over one cookie, you could go bake the cookies. Is baking cookies kind of fun? I heard about those 3 parties of yours. Fucking sound dank. I wish I went to the other 2, but I went to that one on Sunday night at Twist. It was dank. I talked to you outside for a fucking minute. I'd be interested in working with you. And just kicking it too in general, but check out my smut shuttle. There's a fear there. You know what's cool is to meet so many great girls that you literally just walk through life
gliding on a fucking cloud and complete ease and happiness that women just fucking throw themselves at you continually while you doing fucking nothing, while you pick whatever fucking girlfriend you want. That's how I like to do things, you know? And take with money. Take it with money. You're doing something that you love to do, and people throw money at you, and they're desperate to give you money. Do you want $1 million? Do you want $5 million? Do you want $10 million? Do you want $100 million? What do you want? I want to get that $100 million easily. Doing what I like to do with ease and great. And no problems come up. It's a great learning experience, and then you can grow from it. I don't want to have to fight it out for this 100 fucking grand. So when you stop and think about it, when you think about that with your dating life, and when you think about that with dating, your money, that you realize for a minute that there's probably a different paradigm that you have to get into. So even though it makes sense to fight it out for the cookie, even though if you're making 100 grand and someone tries to take 50 of it, even though you'd be like, wait a minute, there's a boundary there. But at a certain point, you have to let that go to go into this higher paradigm. So let me give you an example. I'm going to tell you about a great mentor I had, an amazing man who changed my life. The guy name was Lefty Righty, and he was a marketing teacher, and he's a brilliant man. And he's somebody who's really, really good at reading other people. And then what he was good at was synthesizing that work and pulling it all together and showing how it fits together, and then implementing it in his own life and then teaching it. He used to teach under a name of David D'Angelo, Double Your Dating. His real name was Evan Pagan, actually. His name was Portland. He lived in a trailer, and I don't know exactly what he saw, but he saw a lot of heaviness, a lot of bullshit. And what do you notice in that heavy trailer park type fucking shit? They're in a scarcity. When there's scarcity, they're fighting over a limited piece of the pie. So they can't even get a girlfriend. You're gonna go get your fucking niece, and that's how deranged that fucking shit can get. You know, I'm not saying the whole thing is like that. There's probably a lot of beautiful people, a lot of shit. Statistically, you can hear about this shit. So from there, what you'll see is that in scarcity, things are very, very petty. All right, and as you move up, things get less petty. It opens up the field a little bit. There's so much of that happens. I just really want to show you something powerful that's really going to change your life. So basically what you have is a guy like Evan. He came from that environment, and I'm not sure what he saw, but he began to move up, and he moved into real estate, and then he did that, and then he decided he was going to launch an ebook. And as he launched his ebook, at that time he was still in a lot of lower level paradigm. More and more fucking motivated to keep chasing those wins, you know? Say that you learn success with women. Maybe I teach you how to go do an open, and you go out and maybe kiss some girl. She'll probably flake you. She'll probably never fucking talk to you again. But if you just kiss some random girl that you never fucking kissed before, and it's like, whoa, you get a phone number, it flakes you. It's kind of like this cool little fucking thing. It's something you never thought you could do. And it kind of breaks your reality a little bit. You thought, whoa, I never thought this could happen. This is a cool little win. All of a sudden you get fucking excited. Like, what the fuck else? What the fuck else could be happening? You know, you could get a couple plateaus sometimes, or even dip. But overall, if you start stacking wins upon wins, it changes your brain chemistry. And you start to get a winner effect. You start to get it changes your brain chemistry. A lot of times there's this cookie shit going on in both society. It's the brain chemistry. It's on that because they're not winning. It's very important. But it's a manner, I feel, for women to think, get some wins. Even if I'm kind of eating some shit and I go, oh, well, I know I got to get some small wins. You know, show up at the gym and get some quick small wins. So you don't want to get addicted to that brain rush shit. So anyways, what you have there is you have it to where you get a couple little wins. And as you get little wins, you start reading books. And so Evan, he started reading more books. Really big influences with Stephen Covey. He started learning about more different paradigms. Here's something really cool. It's something I learned about Evan that I heard is really cool. I dare anybody to pull one of these chicks wearing a fucking mask. Yeah, let's go have some casual sex with your fucking crazy mask on. You know, Evan been teaching that in W Dating. You know, he also started teaching a lot of this deep inner game stuff. And I'm just so bored learning this stuff. So I would just tune out. You gotta be confident. I got you, bro. Great, cool. Let's go. I don't give a fuck. But weirdly, as I got older, when you get those couple little wins under your belt, and then you start to grow and challenge yourself more. And so I was growing more at that time, and I started to challenge myself more. And as I challenged myself more, I started hitting the bigger walls. And one of the first walls I hit was like when the game came out by Neil Strauss. Anybody ever read the book The Game? Fuck that guy, I mean, you read it. You know? Okay. So basically, what you had then was all of a sudden, a lot of the deep inner game stuff. You've had those first little wins that are more surface level. If you've ever had to do an online business, you don't want to hear about deep transformation. You want to hear about how you're going to get your next little win. How am I going to make $1,000 online? You're not like deep inner game work and all that shit. But what winds up happening is you get into walls, you realize that your inner game is what's holding you back. Your inner state of mind, your inner consciousness, that becomes the bottleneck to your growth. You can't actually grow because of this bottleneck of your inner game. So this was a crazy thing. Evan, when he would make a W Dating product, he had this thing on being a man, and basically it was about male adulthood. And it talked about how a lot of men are basically a boy in a man's body. Literally, I never considered this. I'd be curious to see how many people like you consider this. One of the things that he said was a boy takes all the credit and blames everybody else. A man shares all the credit and pushes the credit onto his team, but he takes the blame when things go wrong.
Maybe you couldn't understand a concept like that. Maybe it was kind of weird to you.
So Evan, he would make these. His name's. He make these DVD sets, and they come. He read like a 100-page PDF. I read it like this hungry man, just reading it. I was blown away, just brought to tears. The level of thinking that was contained within that. So I was literally blown away. I could barely speak. I was thinking about everything that I've been done for the last 5 years, about how I was basically a boy in a man's body, and I just wanted to change, and I just wanted to be better. And, you know, I'd done a speech at one point with him, and he told me, don't act like it, be it. When you're in a low-level paradigm, that incidence driven part zone, you think everybody's out to get you, you put up. If you're on YouTube, someone puts a paranoid comment, you can respond really calmly. I don't even care why you removed me. I don't even care why you removed me. I don't even fucking care. I don't even care. I don't even fucking care. I don't fucking care at all. I see my close friends in that paradigm. I don't even judge them because I see they're wrong. What you have now is you have a situation where coming up through that paradigm, and somebody says, don't have that. Let's check. That was the first time that I ever had to be versus doing. Being the man as opposed to acting like the man. Deep identity level change. Deep identity level change. So that's the difference between if you want washboard abs, you could add a magic marker and draw them on, or do you get washboard abs? And that's the difference. At the superficial level of just alliance, that's really good. But we want to make deep identity level change. So later, he says to me, this is like the cool punchline of this story. He says to me, I call him up on the phone, and he says like, Evan, this PDF that you created is just totally amazing, totally blown away. So he's letting me see the DVDs. And this is back before YouTube. And these things called DVD players. And you have a disc. You have to go to Dale. You have to put it in. I was playing 720p, 720p. Because it was before VHS. This thing called Beta when I was a kid. Anyway, we had a phone, we had a regular phone, we had this. So, and if it was busy, you didn't have an answering machine, you'd have to read, waiting for them to get off the phone.
And if you went off to a party and you lost your friends, that was it for the night. You're never gonna see them for the night. You just hope they're not dead. And then you got a pager. And a pager, little codes with the numbers. So what you had was basically
I didn't even remember that he went to that seminar. Higher level paradigms don't always become valuable to you until you are ready. Until your life conditions have changed, you're not even open to it. I also want to show you these higher level paradigms. Let's talk about Evan. You know, Evan went on to do hundreds of millions of sales in DVDs and video presidents and multiple different profit topics. He went to hang out with many of his idols, Tony Robbins, Richard Branson, and what he accomplished. But more important, he went on to have the respect of his peers. And I'll tell you, as a creative person, nothing feels better than when your peers are like props. We went and got married. Oh my God, this is the worst ending to the story I've ever heard. Oh my God. Again, you this program of how you dated all these different girls, and he wanted to have a daughter, have a family, and so he continued to move up. And he married by one parent, and from another paradigm. It could be really good. Moving with a partner could be really good. Depends on where it's coming from. You got to be aware where you're at, because it can be quite the disastrous move if you do it from the wrong place. You know, as you've probably seen with a lot of people, guys and women. So now what you have is, let's review this. Let's look at this a little bit in review. So you have these certain paradigms. Now the thing was so powerful with the guy. It was really, really powerful. And some powerful lessons they taught at a young age. And I feel so blessed that someone could have imparted this shit to me at a young age. And really that someone was patient with me while I was at a much lower paradigm. That's one of the reasons. And I'm not in the perfect paradigm myself. You know, if I'm a little further up the road in certain aspects, then I'm very patient. And the reason why, and the fact that he sat there and tried to help me with that shit, was so amazing. So Evan at that time, he would spend about $20 million a year to pump Double Your Dating. He would literally pump it, to pump that DVD set. And I would go speak at his event, and I'd get all these customers from it. And what he said to me was, Zach, girl interrupter. You're not trying to take all these customers from me. If I spend 20 million a year to create this giant funnel, the little cream that rises to the top is like eligible buyers, and say people that would take a boot camp at a boot camp, that's like the thinnest little marcher. When you come to my seminar, you have the access to that. Really, to just create those leads. And he was doing the seminar with 300 people a year. That literally was costing $20 million a year and flip over revenue. Put the revenue in, get it back some in sales, reinvest it, get it back in. So then I'd have a luxury to go and do that. Other people. And have a big fat city like Denver. But it's not like New York. In order to do that, to build RSD like this, it's about a $30 to $40 million machine. But rather than keeping the $2 million, I pumped that back in RSD so that we can build this machine. And the machine that we built is meant to make a guy like Julian that you met is one of the most talented people in the world. And if you combine Julian's talent, he's incredible talent, world class, Julian's hard work, he's a world class hard worker. And if you combine that with like $30-40 million machine, now you have this cool little event here where you can all sit there together and you can even know who he is and you're excited to find it, you know? So that's kind of like the value that somebody might have first provided to you. And so you might have been inspired by that. You might have wanted to build that machine. Do you know Carmelo on the Knicks? You know Kevin Durant on the Warriors? Which team would you rather be on? You know what I mean? You'd rather be on Golden State, right? Kevin Durant takes a pay cut, but he plays with the best people in the world. Carmelo and Anthony is in the same range of being just as good, but they can't even make the fucking playoffs. I want to go to the motherfucking championship. I want to surround myself with all-stars. That's why I built a machine. Now, some other cats, the reason why they want to build a machine, it's not just about making more money. It's just about the growth you get from doing it, you know? Me working with Julian, I'm not girl interrupter Zach if I didn't work with fucking Julian. Do you understand that? Originally, at first with me. Guest speakers, it's costing $1 million a year. And then those guest speakers can come in and they can be made famous from it, right? And the funny thing is, when you become famous, you can't become unfamous. Do you understand that? No. So a guy comes in, he's making all these guys famous. But when you're famous, you can't make them unfamous. So he's getting a really, really raw deal. everyone.
All right, let's get cracking. We'll talk about what's precious.
So sometimes what you gotta understand is you can sit there with your one little 80-20 split. Nobody else will want to do business with you. You know, it's cool. You have personal boundaries, like with your kids with the cookie. You'd be like, unless I get 80, I'm not winning. So you get your one little 80. You're getting a lot of infinite 20s. You know what I mean? Take your little 80, bro. Ooh, you tricked me. Got me. Got me. You got me. Take your little 80, bro. So now what you have is that Evan's in a different paradigm. He's operating in a different space. Now, by the way, there's another thing that you might not know about Evan, and it's going to reveal that as well. But it's so incredible because nobody understood it. He'll probably never get the credit that he understood for